Recent reviews are mixed. English, that's right. Steam is doing this thing now where I don't know why they're doing this, but they decided to separate out all of their reviews based on like region. So now instead of seeing all of the reviews that people have to say all around the world, I can only see English reviews. Like, I don't understand the idea behind that. Like, what does the opinion of somebody from like the Philippines, is that irrelevant to me? Is the opinion of what Japanese people feel about a JRPG, is that irrelevant to me? Like, why did they make this change? It seems oddly xenophobic. With today's update, the review score shown to you for some games will be calculated from the reviews written in your language. This is part of our ongoing effort to ensure that Steam user reviews are helping customers make informed decisions when considering the purchase of a new game. I don't understand the thought process behind that. Like, if somebody is like, this game is good, and then I find out they're from Nicaragua, am I supposed to be like, a Nicaraguan like this game? Fuck it, I'm not gonna play that. Like, is that how people respond? Is that what that's supposed to be like? We launched Steam user reviews almost 12 years ago to give customers a way to tell each other what they thought about a game and whether they recommend it or not. A short time later, we introduced the concept of a review score, which is a simple categorization based on the percentage of positive reviews. It is basically a signal of how happy the overall community around a game was with their purchase. Yeah, overall community, but the community of a game can transcend language barriers. Not everybody that plays a game is from the same or speaks the same language, but that doesn't mean that any one person's opinion should be invalidated. And a useful tool for potential customers to predict their happiness with the game as well. Steam's growth since then into an even larger global presence means customers in different regions of the world may have vastly different experiences from each other for the same game. No, it's the same game. Like, what do you mean vastly different? This kind of feels, Jesus, man, this kind of feels like the same as like, I mean, because you play Counter-Strike against people in fucking Korea. Are they playing a different version of Counter-Strike? Are there rules there different than rules here? Like, does the Korean eye transcribe the frames a little different than like an English eye? Like, what is the idea here? Like, it almost feels akin to like race science, but for video games. Like the very common misconception that black people don't feel pain the same way that white people feel. Like, black people have a higher threshold for pain, therefore you can prescribe less painkillers for them if they need it. Like, that kind of a shit. Like, this feels like a weird kind of subset of that type of thinking. Like, you put Marvel Rivals in a group of people that speak English and a group of people that speak French, and the idea is that they have different experiences. There are a variety of reasons this may happen for a particular game, including translation issues, cultural references, poor network connections, and many other things. The poor network connection is the only thing there that is valid. That's the only thing there that's valid. Like, if you're playing Helldivers and you're in a place that has like really bad internet, but the thing is, if you are in a region that has bad internet, that's probably not going to factor into like your rating of a game, because you're just used to having bad internet. You're just used to having bad internet. Like, nobody that's going to take time to write a Steam review is going to be so dense that they're going to be like, Helldivers 2 is a piece of shit because I have too much latency. Like, they're not gonna, that's not a thing. Like, there might be people that have that opinion, but they're not the ones that are gonna be going out of their way to write a review on Steam. Like, most people understand what an ISP is and how an ISP affects their game. And most people, generally speaking, don't blame the developer or the game on that. Things that the overall scores haven't been able to capture until now. Calculate again, and by the way, What the fuck does that mean for English? Like, we have shit internet here in America. Like, is that supposed to be any different than like shit internet that might exist in, well, what other place might have shit internet? I think most places that Steam deploys games to are regions that probably have better internet than we do. I guess maybe parts of like the developing world is the most akin to what we have. I mean, shit. Rural America is famous for having bad internet access. So what does that mean? Does that mean that somebody, and should we dissect this even more granularly? Should we have reviews displayed based on your state? What do all the people in Texas think about Nights Within? If anyone from Texas has even played this yet. Like, what do all the people from my district? I need to know what everybody in my congressional district thinks of this game, because we have good internet, generally speaking, in the Austin area. So maybe internet-connected games get higher ratings in Austin. But then out in, like, Grapevine, maybe they have shitty internet in Grapevine. So I need to know. I want to get all those fucking pores from Grapevine out of my Steam reviews. You go with all the other pores in Grapevine, Texas, and you guys could review bomb all these network games because of your shitty internet. But we in Austin, we're gonna rate these games amazing. Calculating a language-specific review score means that we can better distill the sentiment of these different groups of customers, and in doing so, better serve potential customers that belong to those groups. I just don't understand what that means. Like, what does that mean? I wish they would be very specific about what that, like, better serve potential customers that belong to those groups. I wish they would really lay out what exactly that means. There are enough reviews written in a particular language, Steam will calculate a review score for that language. The review score displays... Also, by the way, I like seeing what people that aren't like me say about a game. I think that's cool. Remember when I was playing My Summer Car? How frustrated I was with that game? That game was a Polish game, I think. I think that game was a Polish game. And I remember going into the reviews and reading the reviews from all the people that like had a very specific kind of experience with, I guess, Eastern European vehicles, and I guess maybe even Eastern European road trips or shit like that. Things that spoke to a very specific niche that I otherwise would have never interacted with. But because I played that game and read those reviews, you know, it didn't mean I hated the game because, oh, it's Polish people and their opinion. Like, I was frustrated with the game for a variety of other reasons, but I thought it was at least neat to get that insight. And it's cool to, like, a game that maybe I otherwise wouldn't be interested in, reading some opinions of people that aren't like me might steer me towards the direction of trying that game. What this means is that some languages may show more positive review scores, while others may show more negative ones for the same game. You see, now that feels suspicious to me. That feels suspicious to me. That feels like, okay, we have to implement a mechanism that will allow us to more easily identify review bombing and segment out those reviews. And I've always been of the opinion, I'm okay with review bombing, to be perfectly honest with you. I think that a game studio who can at will change the entire structure of a game to the detriment of its experience, like, for example, Sony with Helldivers 2, when they were like, oh, all of a sudden you need a Sony account to play this game. You need to log into a Sony account to play this game. And there are even regions where you couldn't sign in with a Sony account. So people who had bought the game and were having fun with it were going to be suddenly locked out from the game that they bought and were having fun with. I think it's perfectly acceptable to review bomb a game in those instances. Like if the publisher or developer could make a change like that and impact its customers, then the customers should, I think it's well within the customer's rights to take equal collective action to impact the developer and the publisher. Why should it be a one-way street that, again, just fucks over consumers? Like, I think that consumers should have that capability. Whether you agree with the reason why a review bomb happens or not, different. But I think that the ability should always remain. And this feels like this is geared more towards maybe, okay, we need to figure out when and how a review bomb campaign is initiated, and then find a way to nullify it, stop it. This change impacts games that have more than 2,000 publicly visible reviews, and with at least 200 written reviews in at least one language. We purposely made these thresholds higher than the 10 reviews required to calculate overall review score. This is because we wanted to be pretty confident in the language-specific score before showing it to its users. No, it's because you wanted to make sure that AAA blockbuster games, which are more the games that tend to be more likely to get those numbers of reviews, or even just blockbuster, maybe not even AAA, but just a blockbuster game, a game that sells a hell of a lot. You want to make sure you have a metric with which you can control those communities, because those are your money makers. And you probably got yelled at by executives. For games where Steam has generated language-specific review scores, you will see. Yeah, okay. If you want to dig deeper into what's going on, you can click on See Language Breakdown link to see a more detailed view by language and what review scores those customers will see. So you can still, I guess you can still see the overall. It looks like you can still see overall. You just have to drill into it a lot more, which again is I think that's also a function of trying to take away the big red mixed or mostly negative or overwhelmingly negative that appears on the splash page of a game that is being review bombed. That's basically what that is. That's like, oh, Sony doesn't want people who are interested in Helldivers 2 to click on it and see recent reviews overwhelmingly negative. Like, they don't want people to see that. They want to bury that as deeply as possible, so people have to click on these weird pages and do all this weird language shit in order to see all languages, the overall, which I guess is where that would be visible. We realize that whenever we make changes to user reviews, we're inviting some scrutiny into our motivations for making those changes. Hell yeah, you are. Maintaining trust in the system is crucial to us, so we erred on the side of being as transparent as possible. You're still not being super transparent. To that end, we've built many features in user reviews that can be enabled or disabled, letting you access the raw reviews in many different ways. At the same time, we want user reviews to be useful to customers from the very start without them having to twiddle with the many knobs system has. This is the primary reason why the new language-specific review score system is turned on by default. No, I don't think that is the reason why. I think, if anything, it should be off by default. And anybody who would be interested in just seeing what people who speak English think should be the ones that have to turn the knobs. If you want to go back to seeing the overall review score based on all reviews, ignoring your language, you can change that setting here in your store preference. Okay, well, what the fuck? That's funny. Everything was checked except for show titles not in my languages. There are games on Steam that are just completely in other languages. There are a lot of Japanese language games. I feel like having reviews in the language only is not the way to try to figure out whether or not that game is going to appeal to you or not based on, I guess, culture or whatever, because they mention that as like a driver. If you're looking at a game that's all in Japanese, I feel like you're probably going to be like, oh, this is a Japanese game. And you're either going to click away because you're not interested, or you're probably there very specifically because you want to play a Japanese game. The reviews are completely agnostic from that. You just look at it and be like, oh, a lot of people like this game. It's all in Japanese. You could click into the reviews and see if they're all written in Japanese or not. But one way or another, you at least know that most people that play that game like it, regardless of whether they're writing that in English or not. It just feels flimsy. Like there are other ways to, whatever weird problem they think they're trying to solve, I feel like there are other ways to do it without invalidating the opinions of people based on borders.